Hey there, Coach Sarah here from Rise and Shine Running, Master Chi Running Instructor, and I wanted to talk to you today for a little bit just about sneakers. It's a question that comes up all of the time, and I just want to address some of the things that I tell folks, I share with people who are concerned or considering a change in sneakers. So the first thing I want to say is that number one, what we want to recommend is that you buy the least amount of sneaker necessary to complement and support your current training plan. So it's going to be different if you're training for ultra marathons, if you're just getting started, if you're running trails versus if you're running roads. So those things in particular, that's how your training is happening, and those things are going to be relevant when you're choosing a shoe. Now, the thing that I am asked so much about is the difference between sneakers. So I have a couple of examples here for you. So this is an old shoe of mine. This is a Solomon. I wore these for years and years and years and absolutely love them. What you would call this, or what I call this now, is a high heel sneaker. So you can see that this part here is thicker than this part here. So there's a rise. Your ankle, your heel is slightly higher than your toe. And so this isn't necessarily a bad thing, although I personally wanted to shift out of high heel sneakers and move towards a zero drop is what you call them. I wanted to shift towards making my body and my feet act the way they're designed to act. So this is not quite natural. We don't have this rise in our heel naturally. So what the sneaker industry has done is added cushion in there to help things like plantar fasciitis, like stress fractures and shin splints. So this is kind of like a cushion. And what I see in a lot of my runners is this part is worn out on their sneakers. So what that tells me is they're a heel striker. This sneaker is designed to cushion the heel striker. As a Chi runner and Chi walker, we no longer heel strike. So this isn't quite as necessary as it was for me prior. Okay, so as we transition our running form to be a little bit more efficient, we're landing on our tripod using a full foot strike, then we can think about shifting our shoes. And again, remember, we're going for the least amount of shoe that's necessary and comfortable to support your current running. So if you're coming from a sneaker like this and you feel great in it, you don't have to change. If you want to make a shift, then you can make a shift. So I went from the high heel sneaker and I went to a zero drop. I went to an ultra. I'm currently still wearing ultras. This is a zero drop. This isn't the shoe that I switched to, but I want to show you a couple different ones. So this is a minimalist shoe. This is also a zero drop. It's very flexible. This allows my foot to be a foot. The first pair of zero drops I got, they had a lot of cushioning in them. I couldn't quite feel my tripod. It was a little wobbly because there was just too much cushion. So I eventually transitioned into a really minimalist shoe. I loved these, wore them a ton. Now I want to make a caveat. So remember, I want the shoe to be specific to what you're training for. My distances were not all that long when I was running these. So maybe like up to a 10K, sometimes maybe a little bit shorter runs. So as I was learning, this is what I was in. Then my current shoe is this shoe right here. I do run some trails, so you can see there's an aggressive tread. What I love about the Ultras is the super wide toe box. I always share that I'm kind of like the Fred Flintstone runner. I have really wide toes. They always act like feet. I wear no shoes as much as I can just to be barefoot. And so I've allowed my feet to kind of spread. And this toe box totally accommodates my Fred Flintstone feet. So I recommend them to anyone. What you're looking for in your shoe, again, you want to make sure that you have enough room for your foot to spread out. So one of the tricks that I would recommend is when you're trying on shoes, take the insole out. So just hang on, I took them all out of my shoes so I can't show you. Anyway, you'll pull the insole out and lay it on the floor and step on it. And what that's going to show you is you want to see a little bit of outline on that insole. That will tell you there's enough width for that shoe. If you can't see it, it means you might be too constricted once you end up running in that shoe for a little while. Think about it. It's a hot day today. I tend to swell. You can see my fingers after my runs, and so that would be the same for your feet. And if you're getting a shoe that is just narrow enough, or maybe even too narrow, it's going to become quite uncomfortable on those hotter days when your body tends to swell. So take that insole out, make sure you can see just a little outline outside of your foot, and that's going to be a comfortable shoe. Transition slowly. So if you are moving from your high heel sneaker to your minimal zero drop or something in between, I want you to take your time to make the transition seamless. You will want to alternate, or you could start walking in these. Like if you have a dog, you can take your dog for a walk. Do some quick things so that your body gets used to it. If you move too quickly from a rise in your heel to a zero drop, you could get some injuries. What happens when you're used to running in a high heel sneaker is your Achilles tendon shortens just slightly over time. And if you move too quickly, it can put a lot of tension on and potentially cause something like plantar fasciitis and a lot of discomfort. We want to avoid that at all costs, okay? So be very careful and mindful as you're switching your shoes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always email me at Sarah, SARAH, at riseandshine.run. I'll see you there. Bye.